All right. Well, then I won't have to do the introductions because John just graciously did the introduction, so that's great. So, first of all, thank you for letting us come today and be a part of your Lunch and Learn series. We're very excited to share some information with you about a little project we've been doing the past couple of years. And as John said, I'm CEO. I've been with Citizens for 26 years, and I can tell you a lot has changed during that time. We've gone from back when I first started, dial-up internet was the thing. That was the next new thing that we had. And we went from there, we started offering broadband over DSL in the early 2000s. And now, fast forward to a couple of years ago, we started with our fiber to the home project in the town of Floyd. And that's the only phase where we've basically kind of forced everybody to switch to fiber off of copper. The rest of the county, it's optional at this point. So, first of all, welcome to gig country. That's our motto, and the gig is about gigabit internet. So, Citizens is doing this project in Floyd County in several phases. So we could not do the whole county at one time in one fell swoop. Really do not have that deep of pockets to do that. So we're having to do it over a number of years, and we're participating in a federal program called Alternative Connect America Model Program. And that gives us a little funding to help with the project. Amounts to around 30% of the total cost. So that total cost will be in excess of $30 million by the time it's said and done. So that Alternative Connect America model, abbreviated ACAM, gave us 10 years to do the project, which meant that we had to get X percentage of our customers with at least 25 meg per second download speeds by 10 years from now. Well, originally, we didn't want to wait 10 years, so we said, okay, let's do it in 7 years. And so we looked at that. Last year, we decided, well, the demands on internet speeds are really growing so fast. Let's see if we can speed that up even more. Let's do it in 5 years. So we kind of went back to the drawing board, reworked our plans so we could fit it within 5 years. So that's the goal now, is to get this done within 5 years, which 5 years will be up at the end of 2021. So the great thing about this is by the end of this year, which due to some delays in some of our contractors finding people to work for them, it's going to stretch out probably the first quarter of next year, but by that time we'll have 60% of Floyd County having access to fiber to the home. And then by the end of 2021, 97% of Floyd County will have access to fiber to the home. And that's just miraculous for an area that's as rural as Floyd County, because Floyd County has about 18 homes per square mile. If you compare that to, Roanoke County has 100 and some odd homes per square mile. Fairfax County has over 900 homes per square mile. So you take $1 million investment and spread it out over in an area of a mile over 18 homes, or you do that over 900 homes, different economics. And we've never been here for a quick profit. And I think that's part of our longevity. We've been in business since 1914 in one form or another. So we're over 105 years old as a company. And we have a long-term outlook, long-term investment, and no short-term profits. And so what that means is that we can put this in the ground, and as I said at the annual meeting, if anybody was at the annual meeting, some of what I'm going to say is kind of a rehash of that. But it really is, in our case, like a broadband field of dreams. We're going to build this network out, and we hope that people come and hook up to it. Now, definitely at some point in the future, that hookup will stop being voluntary and become mandatory, because we don't want to maintain two separate distinct networks indefinitely. And the fiber network is a lot less prone to troubles and maintenance as the copper network. Every time our technicians hear us thunder, thunder means there's lightning, and lightning means copper might go haywire because it conducts it so well. Fortunately, fiber does not. So that's not a concern there. So the Fiber to the Home project, we took a different approach to our fiber. If you look across the United States, you'll see various companies offering fiber to the home, and most of them, majority, still differentiate between speed as their tiers of service. So, even under the ACAM program we're under, we could do 25 megs per second. That could be our base package, 25 megs per second. Well, unfortunately, if anybody in the room likes to watch Netflix or Amazon Prime videos or you name it of over-the-top video, and you want to watch a 4K format because you've got this new TV that's 4K and you want to watch a 4K format video, well, 4K takes 25 megs per second to operate effectively. So if you have a 25 meg service, you can watch your Netflix 4K video. Then as soon as somebody else in the home tries to do something else, play a game, whatever, suddenly your video is going to start pixelating. It's not going to look good. Then the next thing, that we know this from experience, that will happen is a customer will call us and say, our internet's not working right. We've got slow speeds. Something's wrong. Well, the something wrong is that customer's used up all their available pipe, their bandwidth. And so 4K at 25 megs, I mean, even, so that was totally out of the question. So some companies offer 50 megs or 100 megs. Okay, we feel that all those are kind of stopgap measures because you're chasing a moving target. We could have done 100 megs service as our base tier, and that would have been fine right now for most people. But if you're looking in the periodicals just a couple of weeks ago, you see information come out about 8K TVs. 8K TVs are on the market now. NGK Broadcasting in Japan is one of the few companies actually offering 8K content, but 8K content takes 75 megs per second just to run. So, if you got 100 megs per second and somebody's doing 8K, then suddenly you've used up 3/4 of your bandwidth right there. And and so on and so on. I don't know what the next thing will be, but there's going to be something. And so we decided, well, let's just forget about speeds being a differentiator. Let's just give everybody the same speed. Let's treat it like electricity. Because nobody goes to a big box store and buys a new microwave oven or toaster oven and brings it home and says, I'm getting ready to plug this in, but I'm not sure, am I going to have enough electricity to run this when I plug it in? We don't even think that way. We just know I'm going to plug it in, it's going to work, and I'm going to get charged for the amount of electricity I consume. That's why in the middle of the summer, I might have a space heater downstairs, but I don't leave that space heater running 24/7 in the middle of the summer. That would not make sense. So we wanted our broadband to be like electricity because customers' usage patterns are not uniform. You may have a customer who just decides on Friday night, there's some show that comes on that I want to watch in 4K, and maybe a couple of hours, whatever, and that's it. So if they were on a 25 meg service plan, then they would be maximizing their bandwidth just at that one time, and that's not counting anybody else in the house being on the internet. So we said, okay, let's just give everybody the same speed, the maximum we can do pretty much under our fiber arrangement, and that's 1 gig per second, which is equivalent to 1,000 megs per second. So 1 gig per second download, and then even a lot of cases, more importantly, we're doing 500 megs per second upload. The upload has become very important, especially with all the connected devices. Anybody that has a smartphone in here, which is pretty much, I would say, everybody, you go on a trip, vacation, whatever, you go to an event, you take a lot of pictures, you might take a lot of some video. Well, then as soon as you get home, then, and you get on your Wi-Fi, that device is going to upload to the cloud. All that content is going to be backed up on the cloud. And then many customers want to get their tablet out then and look at it because they don't want to look at it on a small screen. So you get your tablet out or your laptop or whatever, well then you've got to download that back from the cloud. But a video going up to the cloud takes a lot of bandwidth. And we actually had a customer in town who, during the very first days of our fiber to the home, was on a 100 meg per second download, 20 meg upload plan. Okay, so they had, but the customer, the wife called us in and said, it's slow. I can't get on the internet. I can't do anything. Well, it turns out the husband was uploading some videos based on what he does, a lot of videos, and they were a very high quality rate. So once the upload gets maxed out, it doesn't matter what you have on the download because your computer cannot connect to even start to reach the internet or do anything. So, you know, we have a company in Roanoke, a cable company in Roanoke that has gig service available. They're 1 gig down and 35 megs up. Okay, so if you've got a nice size video and you go to upload that to the cloud or to whatever, you're going to max out that 35 megs per second connection, and your 1 gig download is not going to be accessible. So we said, okay, we need to provide a lot of upload as well, just to prevent that from happening. So again, it's 1 gig down, 500 megs upload. Everybody gets the same speed that's on the network, on the fiber to the home network. And so we decided to make our differentiator to be usage. Again, just like electricity. But we did our homework the past year and a half. We had looked at all of our customers' usage patterns and printed all their usage on their bill. Every customer, whether you're DSL, cable modem, or fiber, your usage appears on your bill. And I'll just share with you that when we first started that, January of last year, we had a couple of customers say, oh, Citizens, you can't do that. That violates net neutrality and all this type stuff. Like, no. We are not throttling the speed. We're not reducing the speed at any point in time. We're not capping it. We don't care how much you use. We're never going to cap it. So we put in place usage tiers because our studies showed, you know, it goes from basically 50 gigs of usage as a base plan. So you can get 1 gig service at $39.95 a month for the 50 gigs worth of usage. Then it goes to 250 gigs, 500, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes. So you might think 50 gigs, that's not that much. Maybe, maybe not. But 40% of our customers use less than 50 gigs per month. And then 78% use less than 250 gigs per month. Then when you get up to 1 terabyte, only 1.8% of our customers use over 1 terabyte. So we felt that so the 50 gig plan is at $39.95, the 250 is at $59.95, and then you go up to 1 terabyte's $99.95. The 1 terabyte plan is, a great plan for somebody who's cut the cord completely. They're strictly doing everything, consuming all their video, all their content online over the top. And that's a great price point for that, for somebody who's cut the cord completely. You get all the speed you could ever need, as many devices. We have customers today that have in excess of 30 connected devices in their home. When you add up all of your, again, we know for sure because we were at the home and we did a count because they were on copper and having some bandwidth issues. And they didn't think, well, we don't have that many things. Well, when they got to thinking about it and identifying everything, it's like, it was over 30 of them. So you got laptops, smartphones, tablets, smart TVs, smart DVD players. Then that's not even counting moving into Internet of Things, where you have smart outlets, smart bulbs, smart doorbells, you name it, cameras, all of that. So it adds up quickly. And again, we did not want our customers to go to a big box store, go online and order this thing and have to get it and say, gosh, am I going to have enough bandwidth now to run this in addition to everything else I'm doing? 1 gig, in the scheme of things right now, probably 1 gig is overkill. It's more than, nobody could use 1 gig. There's no application today where you could use 1 gig on that one application. So it's not about having that one device or one application using 1 gig. It's like electricity. It's having enough bandwidth to cover everything that you want to run. So that's kind of our vision, is treating broadband like electricity. So there's enough in your home to do anything and everything you could ever want to do. And that's with today's technology. That with our current arrangement, we're doing 1 gig. Hopefully within the next few years, when the price of the equipment comes down, we can switch out to the next generation of the fiber equipment, and that 1 gig could go up to 2.5 gigs. But that's still down the road. So you can see from the map that's up on the screen, that's our current plan in terms of areas to build out. And again, we could not do everything at one time, so there's going to be some that are fortunate enough to already have it. There's going to be some that are going to be in 2021. But we're going to take a look at a video here and show you, I want to share with you some of the aspects of how this is put in place, the construction of it, and then the second part of the video will show you where we've put it in place. And I live in the Terry's Fork section of the county. So I live right near Goose Creek and Griffith Creek roads. Goose Creek is barely, it's about a 1 car width wide. Goes uphill on one side, down to the creek on the other side. And if you found yourself on that road, most people, you would think, well, I'm probably lost. But people live down there, and today, those customers down there can get 1 gigabit fiber to the home service, because we have fiber running down Goose Creek. And actually, there was a home recently sold that had not sold for many, many months, had been on the market, and finally sold just like that once it was advertised that it had fiber to the home with it. So here, we'll play the video real quick.
It is our pleasure to welcome you to the 2019 annual meeting. It's been a great year at Citizens, and we're glad you've joined us to reflect on our year. As more and more members in Floyd County are becoming eligible for fiber to the home, we wanted to share with you what to expect on a fiber install. Meet Chris Brevard.
Welcome to Gig Country. Today, we're going to show you what you can expect on a typical fiber optic installation. Phase 1. It starts with our engineers. The contractor will look over our plans with the engineering department to discern if there are any conflicts with any underground utilities, such as power, water, septic drains, water lines, etc. Once the contractor has determined the path, they will use a vibratory plow to install the underground fiber optic cable from the access pedestal at the road to the side of the house where the transition box will be located. Using this vibratory plow, the machine will slice through the soil with its blade while simultaneously placing the fiber optic cable underground by allowing the cable to pass through a chute built into the back of the plow blade. Generally, this cable will be installed at a depth of approximately 12 inches. The contractor may hand dig to negotiate around obstacles, such as the previously mentioned utilities, flower beds, decks, etc. After the cable is installed, the mound left behind the machine's plow blade will be packed and leveled by running over the mound with the machine's tires. Any dirt or bald spot that are left will be reseeded to establish grass. When plowing activities are complete, the contractor will dig the fiber optic cable into the access pedestal at the road and up to the home at the transition box location, and leave the cable at each end for the fiber technician and the broadband technician to perform splicing at their respective locations. Phase 2. Fiber splicing at the access pedestal. When arriving at the access pedestal location, the fiber technician will determine if splicing can be made inside of a splicing trailer or if it will have to be done outside. In this example, the splicing can be performed inside the trailer. For many of our areas, this will not be the case, and it will have to be performed outside on a table. This will require ideal weather conditions to ensure optimal splice results. At this point, the fiber technician will remove all cables from the access pedestal and place them inside the fiber splicing trailer. The fiber technician will then strip the outer covering off the cable using a knife to access the buffer tubes and fibers inside. Once the tubes containing the fiber optic strands are exposed, the framework of the splice case will be installed into the cables and fiber optic strand tubes placed in the fiber trays. The splice case will protect the fibers from water, rodents, and hazards caused by periodic movement. The technician will then strip off the tubing containing the fibers, strip the coating off the fibers, and then place a heat shrink tube on one side of the fibers. After the fibers are stripped, the fibers will be placed in holders and cut precisely using a fiber cleaver. The fibers are then placed inside of a fusion splicer using the fiber holders. At this point, the fusion splicer will align the ends and splice the fibers using electric arcing technology. Once the fusion splice is complete, the fiber technician will place the heat shrink over the splice and place it in an oven on the splicer to activate the heat shrink tubing. When the heat shrink is finished, the heat shrink tube will be placed in the fiber tray located in the splice case frame. The heat shrink and fiber tray both help to organize and stabilize the splice to avoid movement and potential breakage. With the splicing complete, the fiber technician will put a cover on the splice case, coil up the excess fiber, and replace it back into the fiber access pedestal, completing the splicing procedure. Phase 3. Basic installation at the home. Citizens will need to install the fiber optic drop on the outside of your home with a transition box to protect it from the elements. Once the transition box is mounted, we like to discuss the proper placement of the ONT inside the home with the homeowner. Proper placement of the ONT will help to ensure the best Wi-Fi coverage in your home so that you can stream seamlessly if you choose to stream media. The Citizens technician will now install a new fiber optic cable from the transition box on the outside of your home to the connection point on the inside of your home. As every home is unique, the Citizens technician will discuss the entry point of this fiber optic line before doing any drilling on your home. Once the fiber cable has been installed to the proper location, the technician will proceed to install a fiber optic jack. The fiber optic jack provides the signal to the ONT with the fiber patch cable. Once this patch cable is hooked into the ONT, the technician will test the gigabit connection, provide ample education on your new equipment, and clean up the work area and be on their way. At this point, you are now a Citizens Gigabit Fiber Service customer. Welcome to Gig Country. Try to set the night on fire. The child never light my fire. God will never light my fire.
So just how remote does Gig Country go? Let's take a drive down Goose Creek Run.
For over 100 years, Citizens has been connecting people and communities with communication and broadband services. Broadband is not a new business for us. As a technology leader in Southwest Virginia, we have a deep commitment to rural America. Our mission is to weave our fiber throughout the hills and valleys of the most remote areas to make a way for individuals, families, and small business owners to live and work in the community they love. Rural connectivity matters. A high-speed connection is not something most people would consider a luxury, but a necessity. Citizens has made it our mission to offer residents of Floyd County high-quality, reliable gigabit fiber to the home. Exceeding the FCC minimum requirement of 25 megabits per second download and 3 megabits per second upload, we set ourselves apart from the competition by being the only company in Virginia to provide gigabit fiber to the home, offering 1 gigabit per second download and 500 megabits per second upload in a rural area. We do this in the most rural of places because rural connectivity matters. Citizens serves 18 or fewer homes per square mile, compared to Virginia, averaging 73 homes per square mile, Roanoke County, averaging 144 homes per square mile, and Fairfax County, averaging 910 homes per square mile. We are Citizens, providing high-speed connectivity to our rural community.
So that was a trip down Goose Creek. And you saw the one thing I'd like you to note, the process of splicing the fiber together, where you had to expose the fiber, put it in the fusion splicer, splice the ends together. Talking about a hair size piece of a strand of fiber. Well, can you imagine when some other nameless company in the area comes through and cuts a 288 strand fiber of ours, not once but twice, and how long it takes to get that put all back together? It takes a long time, I can assure you that. So that, anyhow, that's how it's done, that's where we're at, and now I'm going to turn things over to Dennis Reece, our Chief Operating Officer, and he's got a few thoughts as well.
Good afternoon. So, I mean, we've already talked about some of this, but we are a member-owned telephone cooperative. We're one of the few left in the state, and we have been providing service for over 100 years. Between 2000, what most people don't realize, between 2005 and 2013, we started building a 440-mile regional fiber network that spans 10 counties, 10 towns, and 3 cities. And we did this mostly with grant money. And that actually allows us to provide very diverse transport and internet circuits to everyone in the region, including Floyd Commerce Park, our Commerce Center. So, and give you an idea, this is everything in the blue is our network, and then the yellow is where we interconnect with other networks in the region. So this has allowed us to help drive down our costs as a whole and help other service providers in the region as well by lowering their costs through cost sharing. So we're also we're one of the founding members of an organization called Lit Networks. And Lit Networks, as you can see, spans multiple states. So through Lit Networks, we can offer circuits to two of the largest two of the largest data centers and internet connection points in the East Coast. So that's Ashburn, Virginia, and Atlanta, Georgia. So we can offer circuits there today and have been since about 2007. So we can offer circuits to anywhere. So last year, NTCA, the Rural Broadband Association, named Citizens as the first and only gig certified provider in the state of Virginia. And once again, this organization just focuses on rural areas in the country. So we are the only ones doing that today. Today, over 2,100 homes can get fiber to the home, and a little bit over 500 people have taken it so far. And on our website, of course, we started our fiber to the home project in the town of Floyd in 2015. In 2017, we started the current build out. and we're a little bit over halfway. This is our construction map. This is an older image, but it's the same one that's here and that we showed earlier. This is our planned year of construction. So just like we showed earlier, unfortunately some of the projects for 2019, we started in 2019, but may not actually be able to turn up service until 2020. And to give you an idea of speed today, an average video is about 4 gigabits. And if you have kids or grandkids that play a lot of games today, most of them download those games. And those can be 40 gigs for one game. So to show you a comparison here, and this is on our website, you can use this tool. We pre-selected this and ran the speed test. 40 gig game would take, on a 1.5 meg internet service like ADSL, would take you 60 hours and 40 minutes to download. On a 10 meg would take you 9 hours and 6 minutes. And on a 25 meg would take you 3.5 hours. And then on a 1 gig connection, it took 5.5 minutes. So if you want to play with this is on our website, the download simulator. It'll show you what you can do. But that's about the largest we see today. Is someone downloading a game for like a PlayStation or Xbox. And those are typically really large files. And of course, here's our contact information if you have any questions for us. Of course, we're definitely ready and willing to answer any questions you have.
And I would add, in addition to the download simulator on our website, we also have a usage simulator. The usage simulator allows a customer, again, our current customers have their historic usage on their bills already. But a new customer may be coming into the area that has no idea of what their usage would be. You can go on that part of our website and put in how many hours a day do you watch standard def video? How many hours a day do you watch high def video? How many hours a day do you stream music, etc.? Various categories, and you just fill those out, and then at the end it will tell you a predicted amount of usage per month, and that will help the customer decide where they need to be. And so that's just another tool that we've put out there to make available to help our customers pick the right path for them. So with that being said, that's where we're at today.